Wait, no, the dog can see it, so it's not, wait, huh, what? But it never haunted Aang like this is creepy. What is it? What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Ben, and today I'll be reacting to The Legend of Korra Season 4, Episode 2. Now, I have to say, the way this season started off has already gotten me so excited. Like, the actual first episode sets up the conflict really well, but also, it has barely anything to do with Korra. Season 3 left her off in this really depressing state where she basically lost. She had to be saved by others, and it made the question of whether or not the Avatar still needed get answered for her. She isn't. But of course, other people clearly think that she does need to be around. She is still needed, but she isn't realizing that. And then the first episode of this season doesn't even deal with her because it's already setting up everything else and showing off just how lost she kind of is by not focusing on her. So I think the conflict that the episode 1 sets up is really interesting. Seeing this nationalist extremist be portrayed in KORRA. Very excited to see how that does escalate because of course you have now the new Prince of Ba Sing Se being introduced and the friction's going to be between them. And I feel like it's all going to come down to Republic City. We had the president of that city trying to sort of cozy up to the new prince to try and make things go nicely because of course Republic City is built on Earth Kingdom territory, and you have a nationalist like KORRA who's intent on unifying everything, probably including Republic City. So I can see things going badly if she does get fully in power. But yeah, when the episode finally did focus on Korra, she was fighting in sort of this underground boxing ring. She lost what seems to be on purpose, and she's not even claiming to be the Avatar anymore. That's how broken she's become. We started off this show seeing how desperate she was to be the Avatar, and now she's sort of rejecting the position. I'm really hoping this episode does go into it more, and I hope that it doesn't sort of go into something else. I wanted to focus on her and just see what she's going through at the minute, because I don't want to wait anymore. I want to see what's actually affecting her and how deeply it is affecting her, and just how she can be helped. Yeah, because it's clear that a conflict is brewing that needs the Avatar, and it's whether or not Korra can sort of heal enough to rise to that sort of challenge. But yeah, as always, if you do enjoy this video, please remember to like and subscribe, as it really does help the channel to grow. If you do enjoy my content and you want to help support the channel, I do have a Patreon, the link will be in the description. Over them uploading these videos and the full reaction a week in advance. So if that's something you're interested in, feel free to check it out. But with that said, let's just dive on in. Oh, I love that shot. Tammy, oh wait, no, that's not that. Oh wait, that kind of looked like past Korra. Is that just how she's injured at the minute? Okay, no, it is how she's injured at the minute. Almost looked like how she was at the start of, at the end of season 3, where she was broken and bruised. I need to see that shot again. I'm gonna look at that when this is over. I'm gonna go back and see that shot because I don't know if that was. It's still in the hair. Was that past season Korra? Like looking at herself in the reflection, just seeing that nothing's changed. Actually, I got hit by. Okay, no, she's definitely seeing things.
You again.
Wait, again? Chains. So it's clearly a hallucination, but she's being attacked, and with that firebending, was that actually happening in real life?
What's wrong with her?
There we go, she is still firebending.
Can I take you to a doctor?
No, I don't need any help.
Pushing away help from strangers is... Oh dear. Okay, yep, she is completely broken.
I can't wait for you to leave. How else is she supposed to take that but the wrong way? I mean, because I've never had a pen pal before.
That's Genoa, not Aang. I was Aang for a sec.
Are you sure you don't want some company in the Southern Water Tribe?
No, I appreciate it,
So
but
she did
I'll
push
only be gone a couple of
everyone
weeks.
away. Only intended to be weeks, though.
I don't want you to worry about a thing while you're gone.
Is this where things went wrong? The intention was for her to get better, but she was alone. Something happened while she was alone, which clearly didn't help. Still looking sad, yeah. And she's being tormented by what nearly happened to her. That's, oh dear.
Your father and I have tried to give you as much space as you've needed, but we're worried.
Maybe space isn't what she needs.
We don't want to push you, but it's been 3 weeks. Will you please go see Katara?
Yes, go see Katara, master healer, and just amazing in general. Even that didn't help apparently, because this is in the past. I gotta remember, this is a flashback. None of this helps. This is just all part of what's almost spiraling her.
Poison did a lot of internal damage. I can help guide your healing process, but whether you get better or not is up to you.
Okay, interesting. So the poison did whatever damage to her, but then I think her mental state is still something separate from that.
Concentrate on your big toe. Visualize it moving. Breathe.
She still had no feeling in her lower body. Okay, I thought the wheelchair was just because she was that injured, but no, she's actually sort of paralyzed in her lower body. She has to learn to walk again? So that's something that she gained from like the 3 years that she's been gone. Yes, her mental state is still not the best, but at least she was able to learn to walk again because she's walking in present day. So every time she almost starts to improve, she gets one of those flashbacks.
Use your mind to overcome the pain. Try again.
Is it going to be something to do with chakra stuff and like energy flow? Because every time she's starting to get better, memory thing happens.
Things are going well here. I just got a big contract to help redesign the city's infrastructure.
Oh no. So she's seeing everyone else, all their lives are starting to change and get better, and she's just not able to do anything.
Beifong has me staking out the Red Monsoon hideout. You won't believe what's going down.
This isn't happening. She's just hearing their lives moving on.
To convalesce in the homeland of your tribesmen. I feel our friendship knows neither time nor distance.
Okay, Berlin just being himself. That's pretty good.
To learn that I found gainful employment with Sir Varric and the Lady Kuvira.
Okay, no, changes for him. I like the drawings though, that's nice, but yeah, it's continuing that things are changing for everyone and she's not a part of it and nothing's changing for her. Everyone's progressing while she can barely walk right now. Her recovery's so slow, yeah, everyone else's lives are moving on. That's just making it worse. Then it could be motivation for her. This could be what motivates her to learn to walk again, give her more strength to do that. Maybe it's like a double-edged sword.
We've been at this for almost 6 months, and I can barely take a couple of steps without collapsing.
You know, she feels like she's not moving fast enough.
And this whole time, my friends have been off helping the world while I'm stuck with you, and you can't even heal!
Oh no, don't take it out on Katawa. The Katawa does get it.
It's all right. Let your anger and frustration flow like water.
Chakra. Get those emotions out.
But you're not the first Avatar who's had to overcome great suffering.
Oh yeah.
How much pain Aang felt when he learned that his entire culture was taken from him.
Yeah, he went nuts.
But he never let it destroy his spirit. He chose to find meaning in his suffering.
So is that what Korra needs to do? She needs to choose what to do through here. She's not choosing at the minute. She's just trying to get through it. She's not choosing how she wants to get through it and what she wants to do after she gets through it. So while she may heal the body, she isn't healing the mind. Is that what's happening here? She's learning to walk. This will obviously be successful because in the present she's walking and fighting. Yet her mind is still not right. I like the emphasis they're putting on this, just showing how much struggle this is, because Zahir really did a number on her. I mean, it's kind of just nice seeing Korra struggle more, I guess, in the sense that everything's always come easy to her. Now she actually has a huge thing to sort of overcome here. Yes, villains, of course, have been a big struggle for her, as always, but this, like a physical challenge that we actually get to see her go through, because she's always excelled in many things, but now something's coming so slowly to her. Her recovery. Back in the present, and you're being haunted by... Oh, a puppy, no. The Avatar state, though, so that's still an issue.
Where'd you come from, little cutie?
Positive, nice. And yeah, okay. Haunted by that, so that isn't actually there, that's in your mind. It's your past. Wait, the dog, wait, no, the dog can see it, so it's not, wait, huh, what?
If you can see her too, maybe I'm not going crazy.
Or the dog's part of your mind. Maybe it's like, maybe this is like a, trying to think, is this some kind of like depression narrative where everything's in her mind, the spirit or avatar thing is her past, while the dog is like the goodness inside her leading her forward? Or I'm very just overthinking it, and it's just the dog sensing something supernatural going on.
All right, let's see what I find.
I need to see if another person sees the dog. I'm kind of just thinking the dog's a part of her mind at this point.
It's so good to see you.
And happiness, yay.
You look great.
I feel great. Come on, I want to show you how much better I'm doing.
Okay, so she did bounce back, but we know it just doesn't stick. So yeah, more of just physically better, but mentally, wherever you are with that. Will she actually be successful here with them all going all out? Oh! Yep, mind. And that was a callback to season 1, right? When she like pushed through the fire and she has... So essentially it's saying that she's in a worse spot than she was when she started out in this entire show.
There is no shame in taking the time you need to make a full recovery. Being the Avatar can wait.
She doesn't want that time. She wants to get on with things.
The situation has been stabilizing since Kuvira took charge.
But that should be me out there fixing things, not her.
So you don't like Kuvira?
I just think you need to...
If you say be patient, I swear
Yeah.
I'm gonna water smack you in the mouth.
If anything, this is also adding to the idea that the world doesn't need the Avatar. The world's moving on. Her friends are moving on, and the world is now moving on as well. And she's not needed. Everything's going fine. Kuvira's stepped in. It's all going well, and she's just there recovering. The world doesn't need her. That's what she's learning from all of this.
I'm sorry I haven't written to you sooner, but every time I've tried, I never knew what to say. The past 2 years have been the hardest of my life.
It's taken 2 years to get to this point. Wow.
Fine now. I still can't go into the Avatar state.
And that's a chakra thing, surely.
Please don't tell Mako and Bolin I wrote to you and not them. I don't want to hurt their feelings, but it's easier to tell you about this stuff.
Only Asami, okay. Is that due to what she's been through, where it seemed like her life was just dreadful with her dad being in prison, her business going under, and then it getting better? She's sort of the only one that can understand her situation Korra's in.
I want to go back to Republic City. I know I'm not 100% yet, but I feel like I've hit a wall.
And this is 6 months.
I need to be where the action is, where my friends are.
And this is...
I'll have the White Lotus prepare a boat.
Is this a lie, or do you actually intend to go to see them, and then you... how does this change? So yeah, this is where that lie began, but then you didn't go to your friends, you did something different. But is this... Are you intending to do that now, or does something else happen? This is very pretty though, flying dolphins. Oh, where is this? Tropical? This looks lovely.
I can't believe it! Mind if I take a picture for my wall of avatars?
Ah! Wait, Aang was here!
I'm kind of in a hurry.
It'll only take a second. Avatar Aang was a big fan of my seaweed wraps, you know?
So she isn't happy with the attention, that's interesting as well. Yes, she wants to go somewhere and she's got someone to be, but being the Avatar's always been her sort of thing.
Yoshi, taking down a shark squid with one hand? Now that's a lady I'd like to get to know.
Kyoshi did that, wow. Really, what can't Kyoshi do?
Car's right here. Well, what are you waiting for? Go!
And then pressure. You're going to disappoint them, and that's just going to send... This is what sort of makes you go away from your friends. And you got tripped up by these two. Oh, wow. You're not 100% yet.
You sure she's the Avatar?
And doubt. And the way they see you starts affecting yourself. And now that's still in your head, and you're probably not going to go to Airbender Island. Oh wait, no, this is where you first see the thing. Like, is it a spirit, or is it sort of a metaphor for depression? Seeing your past like this, the Avatar state, which is fighting you. You can't enter the Avatar state, but this thing somehow is. And you turn away. I feel like it is in your head, though. I don't think this is like some kind of physical spirit. Oh, you're throwing away your Water Nation stuff? Ah, this episode is called Zuko Alone. And of course, Zuko did this sort of thing too. Cutting off the hair. She's going on a Zuko journey. And the bob, okay. Yeah, I'm still very interested in this whole sort of weirdness of the Avatar state appearing like this. It can't be is it? I don't know what I prefer, if it would be physical or a metaphor for her depression. Gone to the spirit world, cool. That's the tree of time. Vatu no longer in it, and spirits around it, looks happier. You looking for memories? Why memories? What are you searching for? If you were going to meditate, this is the best place to do it.
Everyone, come here! It's the Avatar!
The spirits are happy with you, cool. Haven't angered them.
You sure? I don't sense any Rava energy around her.
Wait, huh? No Rava energy? That's interesting.
And yes, I am the Avatar. I'm just wearing different clothes and I cut my hair.
See? I told you guys it was...
Yeah, but what about the Rava energy? That seems something big. Rava left you, or she's just weak, or blocked off by chakra stuff?
I came to the Tree of Time hoping to reconnect with Rava, but it's not working.
Interesting.
The last time I was here, I saw all sorts of visions.
Trying to think of when this happened before. You had Aang, who couldn't enter the Avatar state after being nearly dying, and she's nearly died. Aang had the whole chakra blocked thing, and then Azula zapped him, then he couldn't enter the Avatar state again. They had to fix that whole thing, then he got back. Is this something similar? She had a near-death experience when Zahir suffocated her, and drew the air out of her, and now she hasn't been able to enter the Avatar state
Dear
since.
Mom and Dad, I arrived in Republic...
But it never haunted Aang like this. This is creepy.
Don't worry, I'm taking it easy. But hopefully I'll be back in action soon.
So she's like traveling a lot, so she wasn't just in Republic City, she's traveled.
Love, Korra.
Oh, wait, huh? Oh, it's there.
Rava?
Or hallucination.
Rava!
So it's gonna be hallucination. It's not actually there. But I like this, trying to reconnect with Rava. Because you've done that before, basically. The whole point of Season 2 was to reconnect with the Avatar spirit and understand it in a larger capacity. And then this thing, so either this is a metaphor for depression, seeing your past haunting you like this and having to overcome it, or it's actually rather tainted in some way. It's clearly leading you somewhere. It has a will. Where'd the dog go? It wants it in there. Is this present or what is it? There's still the past. Okay, the dog isn't here because this is the past. Is when you enter the And it's in there. And it wants you in there. Why?
Who do I talk to about getting in the ring?
And is this, what is it? Is this punishing yourself? I feel like that. How long have you been in here though? Because it seems very similar to the first. And it's you versus that thing. Okay, so that's what you're seeing. So it is a physical person? Yep, sticking to one style of bending. So you're not fully into the hallucination. You're sticking with one style because you know you're not meant to be the Avatar here. And this is where we found you at the end of episode 1.
Hurry up in there!
Yep, everything's caught up, so you weren't there that long. And the dog's led you out of there? Where's the dog leading you?
Why did you bring me to the swamp?
Interesting. The dog's a part of your mind. The dog is your goodness, your spirit, trying to help you. Yeah, okay, it's a spirit. Okay, that's nice.
Wait, I met you at the Tree of Time.
And that does mean that the weird, nasty spirit is like actually something real.
Why did you bring me here? What am I gonna find in the swamp?
Not a what, a who.
Who? Wait, what? Who? And it's gone. Okay, so that means the actual spirit thingy is a real thing. The thing that's haunting you. There it is. So that's real. So that thing's real. What is it? If the spirit could sense it, it has some kind of reality. It isn't just in her mind.
You're not real.
It can, if you tackle it, I think it can come into... Okay, yeah, no, it's definitely real. It blasted you with fire. Did you, wait, no, did you get burnt? It's there. What is a spirit? I'm so confused. I'm guessing it's both a metaphor for her depression, but also something that's actually real. Something real has taken hold of her mental state and is now beating her up for it. But I definitely don't think it's evil. It's something. It's trying to get her to do something. Korra's a fighter. She doesn't sit down to heal. This thing is somehow forcing her to heal through fighting her like this, trying to kill her and force her to enter the Avatar state. Oh dear me, the poison. Oh wow, something has taken hold of this, and it wants to drown you in the poison. It wants you to send it back there. It wants you to go back to the poison. What's with the poison? The poison's important. It wants you in the poison. What happens if you go in? There, chains real. Okay. What does anyone else see when this happens? And she's gone in. She's been submerged within the poison. Not in the poison anymore. So what does that mean?
Where am I?
Interesting.
What happened?
I was hoping you could tell me.
Did you find?
I found you passed out in the mud.
Mud, so it was only mud.
What brings you to the swamp anyway?
A spirit led me here and told me I was supposed to find someone.
Is this that someone?
But if your Avatar senses called you here, you should probably listen to them.
You know she's the Avatar.
You recognize me?
In a manner of speaking. We were good friends in your previous life.
Interesting. Wait, you weren't Earthbender. Toph?
I can't believe it.
This is Toph?
Toph?
She's just living alone in the swamp?
Nice to see you again, Twinkle Toes.
And oh, I love that she recognizes it because it's, oh, that's amazing. So wait, Toph's there. Ah! I have so many questions, but Toph's there. That's Toph. Finally, so wait, so that's, how many have we met now? So Katara, Toph, Zuko, Sokka is dead, Aang is dead. We have met them all. That's amazing. Only Suki, but I guess maybe Suki's just left out of it. She hasn't been referenced at all. But Toph's there. Toph is actually there. And I love how she recognizes the Avatar essence. Of course, she probably sees it in a different body, but she recognizes it how other people wouldn't. That's amazing. Yeah, she's just alone in a swamp, cooking whatever, and is just there. I thought she went off to find enlightenment. What does this mean for that? Because I doubt Toph enlightenment. Probably a lie, she said, just to get away from people. But does this have anything to do with it? Why choose here to go of all places? But yeah, rest of the episode, absolutely loved it. Korra, it's so interesting. I'm really not sure what the whole spirit thing is. I love how confusing it is. Because Korra's clearly in depression. She's clearly lost and not sure what to do. And it's part of her mind, but of course it's the Avatar as well. So when you mix depression with the Avatar, you seem to get this. It's a near-death experience messing with chakra stuff, and something's possessed it, and something's actually taking physical form and attacking her. Could Toph see it? Or not, as in actually sense it, not see it, but because the spirit saw it, and Toph is Toph, she doesn't actually rely on vision, maybe she could sense it somehow. Because if it's actually causing Korra to get blown back and push her back, Toph could sense that. This could be very interesting. But yeah, so the thing is definitely some kind of form of depression. Because I don't have the greatest understanding of depression, so I'm just going off what I'm seeing here. Like, it's clear this thing is an embodiment of Korra's past and her failure. That's what we're seeing. It's her failure coming back to haunt her. And somehow she needs to move past it and probably fight it and beat it, because it's fighting her. It's not letting her go. Korra's trying to basically ignore the failure and her past, but it's not allowing it. This is how she reconnects with Rava. She needs to beat this thing, but how do you do that? She is haunted by also other visions of Zahir and the nightmare of the actual near-death experience, and she's basically been following this thing. So it wasn't sort of, she did intend to go see her friends, but then this thing happened. I like just the detail of everything in this episode with what we got to see. And we did get some like positive development for her where she learned to walk again after that whole experience. Love just that. So it wasn't all bad and negative. She got to learn to walk again. She has some progress there. I didn't realize her injuries were that severe. I thought she just needed to rest. Nope, she actually was severely injured. So it's nice that we got that going on. But now she has the mental sort of side effects of that battle. She's healed physically, but mentally she's not over what happened. I like how much emphasis they're putting on that. I think with Aang, they did a good job there with him, because his whole incident with the Air Nation, I like how it was referenced again here, where seeing Aang deal with losing his entire culture and nation. The mental toll that would have taken, of course, that felt far more, I guess, maybe kid show-esque at the start, and then it developed more into more adult themes. Because of course you see Monk Gyatso's body and everything, but did we have like a full-on sort of thing for Aang dealing with what has happened to him? I think yes, when Appa left, because that was like, again, his culture leaving him again, that was their time to sort of go over again what Aang was going through with his culture disappearing. But it mainly came through seeing Zuko go through his whole thing. With the, dragons. He had the hallucination. When Zuko made his first good choice, his first moral choice, he nearly died. He had the dragons in his mind, with it was Iroh and Azula's voices, one telling him to give up, one telling him to keep going. This is very similar. Korra is now seeing that sort of thing. Of course, Zuko was also connected to Roku because that was his grandfather or great-grandfather. So he does have that connection with Avatar spirit-esque stuff. So I feel like Zuko's, plus this episode is called Zuko Alone. I'm guessing it's going to have more similarities with what Zuko went through than Aang. I'm trying to remember everything that happened there because it was really weird. He got over it, but then he went back into a bad decision and joined Azula again, but then got out of it. So it was always sort of back and forth with him. Here, I feel like Korra is sort of, she's pushing through the illness Zuko had. Zuko collapsed and nearly died. That's basically what's happening with Korra, where she... no. How did that... They are different. Zuko made a good decision, and then he had the illness and nearly died. Korra nearly died, and now she's going through this. I think I'm going to need to see way more to fully understand it, but I really love what this episode did and just how it's exploring everything that's going on with Korra. This fully went into her past. Absolutely love that. But now she is stuck and she can't figure out what to go do and move forward with. She's still without her friends. They're going to be looking for her, hopefully. They somehow need to find a way to track her down. Don't know how they can do that, but she is with Toph. She is with someone. And Toph's the kind of person... how can Toph help? I feel like if Korra asks for help, Toph won't care. But if Korra denies wanting help, Toph's going to make Korra want help. It's kind of a 50-50. If Korra asks, Toph won't care. If Korra doesn't want any help, Toph will force it on her. Because it's whatever Toph's way works. Whatever Toph wants happens. She's that stubbornness. So I think that could be very effective if it just goes, if that interaction goes well. If Toph wants to help, she's going to help. She's going to make sure Korra's like better. If Korra actually asks for help, I'm not sure it might work, but I feel like that would be a bit more difficult. Toph is whatever Toph wants. It's not what Korra wants. It's whatever Toph wants to do next is what's going to happen. Korra has no say. But yeah, then seeing the imagery with everything going on in her mind, how she basically was drowning in the poison at the end of their fight. There's definitely something going on with the weird spirit hallucination thing. It definitely has a will and an intention. It wants Korra to drown again in the poison. Does it mean she's not done dying? Or what does that mean? It wants her to go back into the poison. That's when Rava and Korra got separated, during the poison stuff. Rava was fighting to keep Korra alive, while Korra was fighting to not even go into the Avatar state. I'm guessing if Korra went into the Avatar state, you'd have Rava fight off the poison and it would be gone, but then Zahir would kill her and then the Avatar state would be over. That conflict is what severed them. And now it seems like Rava is taking... I'm guessing that the spirit is Rava, and it's trying to help, but with their connection severed, it's doing it in this weird way. And now, what I'm assuming is Rava is trying to get... because I'm assuming it's got good intentions. This thing is helping her in just the way we can't see. Korra is a fighter. She doesn't sit down and talk her problems out. She fights them. this is what's happening here. She's fighting this issue, and it seems like because it doesn't want to kill her. It wanted, because it didn't kill her. It won, but it didn't kill her. So it wanted to drag her back into the poison, the mercury. So clearly there's something else going on there. If we go back into what happened with her, maybe it wasn't complete. Because I'm trying to think, what was Rava's intention when it was trying to help Korra? What happened there? The poison was removed, but then again, the Avatar state, I guess, went with it. There's something going on with the poison. Something's happened there, and I don't understand it, but there's clearly a connection there. Something happened during that battle which stopped it from working. Maybe the poison shouldn't have been removed. Stay with me here. Maybe Korra should have just, after Zahir was defeated and she was no longer in danger, she should have just gone and stayed in the Avatar state, let Rava do its thing, and then go out of it. Maybe that's what needed to happen. Because having it be removed, yes, of course, saved her life, but I don't know. I really don't know. This is so confusing and I love it. Yeah, then all the other details in this episode, just watching her walk again and then getting the letters from everyone. I just love how we're seeing just her sadness, seeing everyone else's lives move on, how it's all happening without her. And you also have the world is moving on without her. The world doesn't need her. It's again reconfirming that the world doesn't need the Avatar to her. Of course, the rest of the world knows that they need the Avatar, but she's not seeing that. You need a new threat to show up to really shake the world, but it needs to not only shake the world, but her. It needs to be something that the world just can't defeat. This is where you kind of need Unalaq and Vaatu to come in, because they're the threat that the world can't deal with. They're the thing that Korra has to deal with. But instead, you're stuck with Kuvira, who does feel like a human threat that humans could defeat, not the Avatar. But then how do you make this threat be something that only the Avatar can deal with? That's going to be how this gets more interesting and how this does help Korra. Because right now, it feels like Kuvira could be stopped by just regular people. You don't need the Avatar to deal with Kuvira. She's just an extremist nationalist who maybe could be reasoned with, or could be physically stopped. What will elevate this sort of threat to be something that only the Avatar can deal with and make Korra herself feel still needed? Okay, this season is off to such an amazing start, and I'm just loving what they're doing with Korra. Season 3 was incredible with how they sort of made you question the relevancy of Korra and the Avatar and all of this stuff, and then dealing with an incredible villain that also sort of begs the question on what is freedom and what does that look like in this world governed by the Avatar essentially. And now you have a season where the Avatar doesn't even believe in their own importance, where they feel that they shouldn't be there, where it feels like the world no longer needs them. So I do think at some point the way the franchise should end is when the Avatar is no longer needed, when Rava can fuse back to Unalaq, Vaatu or whatever, and just when it actually does come to balance. That's how this show should end. But of course the world still needs that. The world is far from that. If anything, that body will just never end, because that sort of balance probably can never come back. And the balance probably is only created with the presence of the Avatar. But now Korra's actually gotten to the point mentally where she's actually given up and she feels like the world no longer needs her. Everything she's hearing is backing that up. I think I just love the detail in all of it. Like, you can see it so clearly through the letters from her friends, through Tenzin coming and telling her about the world. All of it is just adding to the idea that she is no longer needed. It's not helpful for her. Because of course at some point she might not be needed, but that is not what you say to her now. But again, I just really like the detail in this and just seeing her recovery. So first off, we get to see her learn to walk again. I did not realise her injuries were that bad. I thought she was in the wheelchair during Janora's ceremony because she needed rest, and sort of it wasn't a good idea for her to walk around after what had happened. Nope, she physically couldn't walk after that. That makes the whole thing even better for me, knowing just how injured she was. It wasn't just that it was an exhausting experience, she broke her body doing that. Zahir got extremely close to actually ending the cycle and her. So seeing her learn to walk again is also nice in that essence, but also really nice in the fact that we've seen Korra master a lot of things very quickly. Everything sort of comes easy to her, and now we get to know that recovery is her sort of shortcoming. Actually bouncing back is something that she is not good at. It is very similar to what Aang went through after Azula zapped him. He went into sort of a sad spot where he had to learn to sort of be hidden from the world, where, yeah, the world needed him and he couldn't do anything. And he had to stay hidden. And he had a lot of trouble with that. And now in this instance, Korra nearly died, and now she's learning the world doesn't need her, even though it does. I just like how there's a lot of mirroring stuff, and you can see certain elements from these stories, but they do feel completely different. And you also have a bunch of the Zuko stuff, cutting the hair, trying to sort of find herself again in trying to fix her mental state and her mind. I'm really just loving everything they're doing with her. Korra is a character that takes a while to develop, because she basically only develops when she's defeated and knocked down, and getting back up she finds that development. Development is almost forced upon her. Now we're actually seeing her develop her mind and just go from a really dark spot to hopefully a really good one. So yeah, then looking at the attention to detail in just the mind and what they're going there, it does feel like they're tackling depression. I don't know too much about the subject, so I don't want to comment too much and just say whatever, which could be completely wrong. But I do like I would say it in the most basic terms, I like that they're dealing with a character who's suffering mentally. At the very least, it's mental health. It might not be depression, I might have just been saying that, but it feels like it. But of course, I can't be certain because I've never really dealt with real life depression. I would love to know sort of the accuracy of this and what you guys think of how they're going about it. But for me, I love that they're at least tackling mental health for something as powerful as the Avatar. And just in a kid's show as well. Kids would have seen this, seen the state that Korra's in, and would have at least learned something about not just being physically beaten by something and just physical recovery, but also when someone is going through a mental problem and just how they can go about that. First we're seeing, I like that it's not also washed over so quickly. This whole episode is about her suffering mentally. It's still not fixed, and I'm hopeful that it takes a while for it to get fixed, because that's the reality of it. You can't just snap your fingers and suddenly be better. It takes so long to sort of deal with these issues, and I like that the show's giving it that time. Because I think most kids media, they'll just want to throw the character and make them be better again so they can have another fight scene or just be entertaining in that sense. Here, you don't have that. Korra, yes, is fighting, but she's also suffering immensely. And I really love the attention they're giving it. It's not just that she's down in the dumps and that she's sad, but she's actually suffering. Her mind is not right, and she needs to take the time to sort of fix that it is an issue that is beyond her and she does need help. It's another aspect of her recovery, other than physical, that she needs to get past. Then the family and friends aspect I really did enjoy, because I think that's another issue that comes with mental health, where people, I think like myself, think that they're helping, but ultimately it's not actually doing any good. Like at the start, I think the mum did best. I think she had the best approach here, because she was basically saying, we've given you as much space as you've wanted and as we could, but it's not helping. She's trying to do what Korra wants, but she's seeing that it's not having a positive impact. And then of course Korra changed and went to Katara and did get better. So I do like that approach. I think that's a good sign. So that was a good example of how you should approach someone suffering with mental health. You give them what they are asking for. When it's not working, you tell them that it's not working, and you tell them, try something different. Because you don't want to just force your opinions on them and force them to do things which could just be completely wrong. But when you see that something is going really badly and not helping, you tell them to change it. That's what the mum did, and I love that. I love just seeing that aspect, so that worked well. But then you have the family and friends and Tenzin come in, talking about how their lives are moving on and that the world is doing fine. It's getting better after what happened. And they think they're helping, they think they're being encouraging, they think that they're talking to her and being motivating and uplifting. They can't wait to see her again. They're so happy that she's recovering and taking the time she needs. But that's not what Korra wants to hear. She wants to hear that they need her, that they can't wait for her to come back. They can't wait to see her again, that their lives are boring without her, and the world desperately does need the Avatar. That's what she wants to hear. Of course, you could argue that could make things worse, where she is still suffering, she isn't at 100%, and the world is falling up to pieces. She may try and rush her sort of recovery, which may not lead to a good result. But seeing this side of it clearly did not help. She's seeing that no one needs her, that her friends are moving on and living without her, and that just makes it so much more difficult for her to actually start moving forward and actually progressing. Because she doesn't believe in the actual recovery. She thinks that the world no longer needs the Avatar, so why bother actually trying to get the Avatar state back? And of course, Toph's at the end, so Toph is back. That's interesting. It's going to be interesting how they do handle that. Toph is very stubborn, so I almost would equate, because now it's Toph as an old lady, which I think is going to be another aspect that's going to be really interesting. I almost do worry if it's going to be like that generational thing where you have, I think it's a stereotype where elderly people will probably just brush past mental illness, or like that generation. They just don't care about mental health. And I do wonder if that'll be something in here, because you can almost see it with Toph's personality. The way she handled training Aang, she didn't pull her punches. It was just get on with it, sort of tough mentality, which could link into that sort of generation's thinking when it comes to mental health. But I don't know, I hope that Toph will be helpful. I hope that we do see I think Toph will be able to sense the weird thing attacking Korra, because she doesn't see things the way other people do. But I'm just very excited to see what Toph's approach will be. I think ultimately that's going to be what helps Korra. Toph, she's going to be able to help Korra in a way that I can't see yet. Because it could be that Korra may be trying too hard or she's going about it the wrong way, and then Toph basically just tells her to get on with it. That could be as simple as it is. But I just love that we're seeing her again. And I have questions, because in Zaofu, they said that she went off to be enlightened. I'm partly assuming that was just a lie to leave. Toph is a very independent person that doesn't want to rely on anyone. as soon as she has a family and a whole city that loves her and worships her essentially, I gather that she probably wanted to just ditch that place. And then going to a swamp is an interesting choice, but it does feel kind of right for Toph. Being completely alone and isolated where she only has to take care of herself feels like the right decision for her. But I do like that she's kept her kindness. She's actually helping Korra in a sense where she found her in the mud and took her back to her house. She didn't just leave her and just let her fend for herself. She actually introduced herself. So I do like that she still has that there. She isn't just become this old hermit curmudgeon that wants everyone to go away. She is open to helping people. It's nice seeing that sort of little bits of her personality shine through in the very small window we get to see of her. But yeah, I can't wait to see what she's going to do next. I think it's going to be very interesting how they deal with it, because I'm just very looking forward to see how they do tackle Korra's mental health, how they do heal that. And now they've got Toph bring in. Now that they have Toph brought in, I can't see how that's going to work there. It's going to be so interesting to see how they do handle that if Toph is the one to help. Then of course the Avatar Korra spirit thingy. That is confusing. I love how confusing it is because I can't quite grasp it. I remember seeing some, like, the thing that I'm going off of with the depression angle is I think I saw a short film at some point where it showed someone being followed by this immense shadow, or no, it was a dog, it was something, where they spread it along and it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. My memory is very vague about it. Probably not the best thing to go on. But basically, I think you had a dog in it as well. That sort of was some kind of light. I need to find it again. I can't remember it that well, but this reminds me a lot of it. And it feels like you have Korra's Avatar Spirit's weird thingy being this darkness that's constantly chasing Korra. This is her past. This is stuck in the moment of her near dying. Avatar state, chains around her arms. She was like this when she actually grabbed Zahir and brought him back to the ground. Then poison was removed and then that went. This is that moment and it's just trapped here. So it's clearly her past trying to make her do something. It clearly has a will and is trying to help in some weird way, in some Korra way. It's trying to force her to do something. When it won, it pushed her back into the poison. And of course she woke up. Did Toph interrupt it? Like what did it want to do there? What would have happened if Toph didn't show up? Would she have just woken up in the mud? Would anything have changed? Then if that isn't the case, is it just a hallucination that is trying to tell her something? Or is it actually a physical thing that wants to actually physically do something to her? I do think that somehow whatever Rava was trying to do got interrupted when the poison was removed, and that is what's messing with this, because the Avatar state is such a weird and delicate thing that it feels like that's what's happened. I feel like it was partly damaged by the near-death experience, because with Azula's thing, she's shot Aang with lightning when he was in the Avatar state, which should have killed him and ended the cycle. Then Korra brought both Aang and the Avatar state back with the special spirit water. And that didn't quite solve the issue. Aang still had to try and bring the Avatar state back with the whole chakra thing, but it was still there and it didn't feel as damaged as it did now. That instance, it was a clear, you're dead and done, and then resurrection, essentially, with what Katara did. Here, it's a bit more iffy, and I think that's the issue. Korra didn't die, she was in between life and death. If she had just flat out died and was brought back to life, I felt like she would have been dealing with it a bit easier. The fact that she was suffering for so long and the death was so drawn out that she went back and forth in the Avatar state, out of it, that's done more damage here, and that's why. And the fact that it never really finished and the poison was removed is probably what's causing all of this. And I'm trying to figure out how they can fix it when that's what caused it. She need to have the poison put back in her and then have it deal with it to actually fix it in the right way? Does she need to be poisoned again and have Rava do her thing, save her, and then with like not being attacked and just have Rava save her? Would that fix it? And is that sort of finishing off the idea that Korra has to put her life up for sacrifice essentially, and then have Rava take care of it? Because maybe in season 3's final, her sacrifice wasn't finished because other people saved her. She didn't finish sacrificing herself because it got interrupted by the airbenders. I don't know. I love how confusing this is, and I can't wait to see how it does actually end up being fixed. Because you have I'm really invested in the sort of angle of Korra's struggle here. Like, this didn't even deal with anything with Ba Sing Se and the Earth Kingdom, and I don't mind. This is all focused on Korra's mental health, and I absolutely loved it, and I cannot wait to see how this will be resolved. Then going on to the actual threat of this season, and the question, is the Avatar still needed? That question will be answered with whatever Kuvira's doing, but again, it doesn't feel like Kuvira is an Avatar level threat, considering how the rest of the world has been elevated. Ozai, in this sense, is also not an Avatar level threat. I feel like he is when the comet showed up. That's an Avatar level threat that the rest of the people can't deal with. But as a regular person, he's not an Avatar level threat in this world, as the world has changed. If you shoved Kuvira back into Aang's time, that's an Avatar level threat. Here, she's just a regular world level threat that the world can deal with. So what can be done there to actually make it feel like the Avatar is needed? That's what's happened. The world has changed, it's advanced, it's grown stronger, it's almost caught up to Avatar level threats. So what on earth can happen that can make the Avatar feel needed again? That is the question, because that question is what's being posed. Korra doesn't feel like she's needed, so there definitely needs to be something that elevates Kuvira beyond a human level threat. But what can that be? She's a nationalist that wants to unify the Earth Kingdom. It feels like a very human conflict that doesn't require the Avatar anymore, considering what the world has become. So what can possibly happen there? Something needs to be added. I hope something does get added, because if it is just Korra fights Kuvira, that's it. It will feel almost like it isn't answering the question properly. Yes, Korra can deal with these issues, but of course she doesn't have to. That's the point. These issues can be dealt with by other people. So what can possibly make Korra be So what can possibly make Kuvira be bigger than that? What can make it so that regular people can't deal with her? What can make her something that only the Avatar can deal with? And I can't wait to see how that does get questioned and posed. And I can't wait to see how that does get answered. What can be added to her that can make Korra feel that she's actually needed? But yeah, as for what's next, you've got Korra and Toph just in a swamp doing something. I'm hoping that this show just takes as much time as it wants with the mental health thing with Korra. I honestly don't even care if it takes forever to get back into the main season plot. I'm loving what they're doing with this stuff. I'm hoping that next episode just keeps going into that. Have it just be Toph and Korra dealing with whatever's going on, because I feel like Toph can probably interact with whatever's happening because it is interacting with Korra. So it's going to be very interesting watching them explore whatever's happening here. And I'm actually hoping that maybe they don't even solve the issue yet. I would love it if this just keeps getting explored. They just keep going further down into this struggle just so we can fully understand it and then have it healed. Because I still don't understand what's happening with it. So I would love it if we can get full understanding of this issue before they actually try to solve it. I really hope it just takes as much time as it wants with this, because I'm enjoying this so much. But yeah, overall, this episode was just fantastic. I loved everything it did. After episode 1, where it barely touched on Korra, this one was just fully Korra, and I loved every second of it. It's going between flashbacks and dealing with tone and just how we're watching her family and friends try and encourage her, but of course nothing is actually helping. I loved seeing her success, which also felt drowned out in her sorrow. Because learning to walk again, that's such a big deal, but it gets drowned in her mental health and just the state of it. It should be such a big accomplishment that she's recovered physically, yet her mental health is so poorly damaged that it doesn't feel that big of an accomplishment because she's still so broken. I think I just love the weight that gets added to this side of her recovery, and it makes me so excited to see how they do resolve that. And they're dealing with it in such a fun and engaging way, seeing it physically come and attack her, seeing her past, her failure come and attack her, and how she's dealing with it all independently. Of course, that's not a good thing. She should be having help from her friends, but of course they don't understand how to help. So she has to deal with it independently, but I just can't wait to see how this gets further explored. It's so much fun just seeing how they're handling it. I can't wait to see how they do go about actually fixing it. But yeah, with that said, that does bring me to the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you thought about this episode in the comments. And with that, I will see you in the next one for Season 4, Episode 3. See ya!